My wife was dying in the hospital, and our daughter boarded a plane to Hawaii saying, "The old woman doesn't have much time left. I don't want to waste mine watching her fade." She chose beaches and cocktails over goodbyes, abandoning everything we had ever done for her. But when she came back and stepped into her room, she collapsed, staring at a truth so cruel it shattered her world. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and share where you're watching from in the comments. My thumb hovered over her contact photo. Stella, smiling at a corporate gala 3 years ago. The screen's glow cut through the dim living room like a silent rebuke. I'd been in my father's old leather chair for 20 minutes, the coffee beside me long gone cold, a thin film forming on top. Outside, March rain whispered against the glass. Inside, only the grandfather clock filled the silence. Tick, tick, tick. The notebook lay open on my lap. Day 11, no visit from S. I wiped my palms on my jeans, exhaled, and pressed dial. 7 rings. I counted each one. "Dad!" Her voice came through a blur of background laughter and music. "What's up?" Not hello. Not how are you. Just what's up. "Stella, I'm calling about your mother." "Yeah, I know." "Listen, it's loud here. She's asking for you every day." Laughter spilled through the receiver. Someone else's joke. She didn't move away from it. "Dad, I told you, work's insane right now. Monday's presentation is, it's not about work." My knuckles whitened around the phone. "It's about your mother lying in a hospital bed. Don't start the guilt trip." "Guilt trip?" I stood up, unable to stay seated any longer. 11 days, Stella. 11 days she's been there. I'm aware of the timeline, thanks. Are you? Because she keeps watching the door, thinking maybe today. "That place is depressing," she slurred slightly. "How many drinks?" "So I can't handle hospitals. You know that. Your mother handled them just fine when you had pneumonia at 15. Silence, then softly, "That was different." "How? I was a kid. I needed—" She stopped herself. "Needed what?" "Care, love, things she doesn't need now. I'm 38, Dad. Stop trying to control my life." Music rose behind her. Someone called out, "Trisha, maybe your mother is dying." "I know that," she snapped, irritation slicing through her voice. "You think I don't? Then act like it." "You know what? I don't need this right now. I'm having one night, one single night to relax, and you're calling me with what?" "The truth." The word sliced through the noise. Then dial tone, 3047. I stared at the phone until the screen dimmed. My reflection ghosted in the black glass. I tossed it onto the couch. It landed on the floral cushion Minnie embroidered 20 years ago. Yellow roses. She'd been so proud of those roses. 8 steps to the fireplace. The old floorboard creaked beneath me. The same one Minnie said we should fix back in '87. We never did. The mantel was lined with silver frames, our life arranged left to right like a timeline. Minnie smiling. Stella at 5, gap-toothed, chocolate-smeared. Stella at 8, in a sunflower costume. Stella at 15, in a hospital gown, Minnie asleep beside her at 3 a.m. Stella at 23, college graduation, cap high, Minnie crying happy tears, mascara running. I lifted that frame. The silver felt cold. Fingerprints still marked where Minnie last polished it, before she grew too weak to stand. The girl in the picture looked like she loved us. I studied her face. That smile. Those eyes. Where did she go? Slowly, I turned the frame face down on the mantel. My hand lingered on it, pressing it flat against the wood. The clock struck once. 8 hours. The rain turned to sleet, harder now, tapping like fingernails against the glass. My phone buzzed from the couch. I didn't check it. Instead, I picked up another frame. Stella at 5, that innocent grin. The elevator lurched to the 4th floor. I watched the numbers light up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same as the hours I'd slept last night. The doors opened. The sterile scent of antiseptic hit me, sharp and familiar. Then the sounds. Machines beeping, nurses murmuring, a TV through a half-open door. The tulips felt heavier than they should have. $18 at the gift shop. Yellow and pink, Minnie's favorite. Room 412. The door creaked as I entered. I forced a smile before she could see the truth in my eyes. "Morning, honey." 6 steps to the chair. I'd counted them 100 times. Her forehead was paper thin when I kissed it. Too warm, damp. "Dewey," she whispered weakly. "You're early." Wanted to beat the traffic. I found the vase, filled it at the sink, hands trembling as I arranged the flowers. She noticed, as always. The chair scraped the linoleum as I pulled it closer. I took her hand, wedding ring loose on her thin finger. "Is Stella coming today?" The question I dreaded. "She sent her love," I said, too fast, too bright. "Big presentation Monday. Important client." Minnie studied my face. Those sharp eyes still saw everything. "Monday's 2 days away. You know how she is, perfectionist. Gets it from you." A pause. Her breathing rough through the oxygen line. She knew I was lying, but let it pass. "She works too hard," she murmured. "Just like her mother," I said, relief and guilt twisting together. The machines kept their rhythm. Heart monitor, IV pump. Outside, grey sky stretched over the parking lot. Bare trees like reaching bones. The purple shawl, Stella's gift from 5 years ago, draped her shoulders. 7 get-well cards on the table. None from Stella. "Tell me about yesterday," she asked softly. "Read a bit, had soup. Watch the news. You need to eat better." "I'm fine, honey." "You're getting thin." Before I could respond, the door opened. Margaret entered with her clipboard. Navy scrubs, calm as ever. "Morning, Minnie." "Pain today?" "Manageable." Margaret adjusted monitors, scribbled notes, fluffed pillows. "Pain level 1 to 10. 4. She glanced at me, then back to Minnie. Small talk, weather, hospital food, schedules. Then a subtle tilt of her head toward the door. "I need to stretch my legs," I said. Squeezed Minnie's hand. "Be right back." 15 feet down the hall near the supply closet, Margaret stopped, arms crossed. "Mr. Harvey," she said gently, "can I be honest?" I stiffened. "Of course. I've been a nurse 15 years. Seen a lot of families. Your daughter hasn't called the nurses' station once." I tried to hold her gaze, failed. "She's very busy. Director-level position. Lot of pressure. Responsibility starts at home," she said softly. "You don't understand. I understand a mother who asks about her daughter every single day, and a daughter who doesn't call." Her words sat heavy between us. "I'm not judging," she added, her tone kind. Your wife needs her, and you shouldn't have to lie." My shoulders sagged. I looked at the floor. White tiles, grey specks, one cracked by my shoe. "I know." The whisper barely escaped me. Margaret squeezed my shoulder once and walked away. I stood there as nurses and visitors passed. A man pushing his wife in a wheelchair. No one looked at me. "Mr. Harvey." Dr. Patel appeared, clipboard in hand, exhaustion in his walk. "Do you have a moment?" "Is it the latest scans?" "Yes." He glanced around, lowered his voice. "I'm afraid the cancer has spread to her liver." The word hit like a brick. "What does that mean?" "For time? We're looking at 3 to 4 weeks. Maybe 2 months if palliative care goes well." I repeated it under my breath. "Weeks." "I'm very sorry," he said. "We'll focus on keeping her comfortable. She doesn't know yet." "She knows," I murmured. "I'll speak with her this afternoon. You may want to be here." "I will." He placed a hand on my shoulder and left. "Tell your family," he'd said. "Spend time while she's still lucid." "I will." I leaned back against the cold wall until my knees gave out. Sat there counting 3 weeks, 21 days, 504 hours. A tear slipped free. I brushed it away hard. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. Finally I stood, legs unsteady, and walked back to room 412. Minnie was asleep. I sat beside her, silent. Her fragile hand rested in mine, light as a bird's wing. I watched her breathe. 18 breaths per minute. Each one shallow, labored. Her eyes flickered open. "You okay, honey?" I lied. "I'm fine." "You rest." "Tell Stella." Her voice trailed off into air. "Tell her I love her." My throat tightened. "I will." She drifted back to sleep. 3 weeks, and Stella was still sipping cocktails. Gravel crunched beneath my tires. Engine off. The silence that followed felt as heavy as wet cement. I sat there staring at my house. The porch light blinked on at 3:45, right on schedule. Timer Minnie set 5 years ago. The keys felt cold when I pulled them from the ignition, metal biting into my palm. Inside, the house swallowed me whole. No faint hum of NPR from the kitchen. No Minnie singing off-key while she stirred sauce on the stove. only the furnace kicking on somewhere in the basement. I stood in the foyer, still wearing my coat. The staircase stretched upward, 14 steps worn smooth where 1,000 footsteps had flattened the runner. My hand found the banister, the one Minnie had refinished 10 years ago, sanding and staining for 3 weekends straight. I climbed. At the landing, I turned right. The study door creaked, the same familiar protest it always gave. Dust motes floated through the golden light from the window, the smell of old paper and leather, lavender sachets tucked in corners. Minnie's touch everywhere. I closed the door, turned the lock. First time in months, I needed privacy for this. The built-in bookshelf covered the far wall, oak floor to ceiling. We'd installed it in 1998. The bottom shelf held 3 leather-bound albums, dark brown embossed with years. 1987, 2000, 2001, 2010, 2011, 2020. I pulled out the middle one, 2001, 2010. Stella, ages 14 to 23. My father's desk sat in the corner, surface scratched and worn from decades of use. The chair springs squeaked when I sat, the sound oddly comforting. The album opened, tissue paper protecting each page. Minnie's system. First page, Stella's 8th grade graduation, 2003. Braces, hopeful smile. Her arms wrapped around both of us. I turned the pages slowly. Stella at 5, sitting on Minnie's lap at her birthday party. Chocolate cake smeared on both faces. Minnie's arms wrapped tight, both laughing. Stella missing her front tooth. Minnie wearing that yellow sundress she adored. Stella at 8, school play. She'd been a sunflower. Handmade costume. Minnie sewed every petal. Stella beaming at the camera, clutching flowers we'd given her after. Stella at 15, hospital photo. Recovering from pneumonia. Minnie asleep in the chair beside her bed. The timestamp 3:00 a.m. I must have taken it. Couldn't even remember. Stella at 20, Northwestern campus, arms around us both. All 3 squinting into the October sun. Parents' weekend. She was so proud to show us her dorm. Stella at 23, graduation. Cap, gown, diploma raised high. Minnie crying, tears streaking her cheeks, pure joy. Stella's expression, radiant pride and love. I traced a finger across young Stella's smiling face in one photo. Lifted it from the plastic sleeve, held it beneath the desk lamp. Minnie's handwriting curved across the bottom. Our sweet girl, age 5. A photo slipped from my grip, fluttering to the floor. Bending to pick it up, felt like moving through water. In the back pocket of the album, a manila envelope peeked out. Worn edges, Minnie's handwriting on the label, Stella College Letters. I opened it, 8 letters inside, dates ranging 1997 to 2004. I spread them across the desk in order by postmark. The first, September 1997, freshman year. Handwriting rounded, girlish. I read aloud to the empty room. Mom and Dad, I miss you so much. Classes are hard but exciting. Thank you for everything you sacrificed to send me here. I won't let you down. Love, your Stella. P.S. Mom, I'm eating vegetables like you made me promise. The paper trembled between my fingers. Next, March 1999, sophomore year. Thanks for the birthday check. Used it for textbooks. Boring, I know. Love you both. XO Stella, shorter but still warm. November 2000, junior year. Hi. Sorry I missed Thanksgiving. Got an internship. We'll make it up at Christmas. Shorter again. April 2000, fear, postgrad. Just a printed email Minnie had saved. Got the promotion. Director track. Moving into a bigger apartment. Busy with onboarding. Talk soon. I laid them out in a row. Watched the words fade over time, like watching someone walk away, smaller until they vanished. The more success she found, the less she seemed to need us. I said it aloud to no one. The desk drawer stuck. I pulled twice before it gave way. Inside, a small maroon velvet box, jewelry. I opened it. A gold heart-shaped locket, engraved D+M 2000, our 25th anniversary. I'd given it to Minnie. She'd worn it for years until the chain snapped in 2018. The hinge creaked when I opened it, stubborn with age. Inside, a photo of baby Stella, 3 months old, 1988. Opposite side, a lock of her baby hair, brown, soft as silk. I held the locket in my palm. The gold warmed from my touch. That baby had needed everything from us. Feeding, changing, rocking through sleepless, colicky nights. Minnie barely slept for months. The contrast hit me like lightning. The baby who needed everything. The woman who wanted nothing. I closed the locket with a small metallic click, set it beside the letters and photos, evidence of a transformation I'd been too close to see. Where did she go? That little girl who used to run through the door after school, breathless with stories. Minnie had given her everything. 38 years of sacrifice. She'd sold her grandmother's jewelry to pay for summer camp in 2002, worked extra tutoring hours to fund college, stayed up nights sewing every school costume. We paid $200,000 for Northwestern, bought her first car in 2008, a used Honda Civic, $12,000 we'd saved for 2 years. She wrote thank you in every letter until she didn't, and now Minnie was dying. 3 weeks, and Stella couldn't leave a bar. My voice cracked even alone. I dropped my head onto the desk, arms folded over the albums, shoulders shaking. I don't know how long I stayed like that. Outside, the sky dimmed. Streetlights blinked on one by one. When I finally lifted my head, eyes burning, I looked at the table, photos, letters, the locket. The archaeology of love lost. Something hardened in my chest. Not solid yet, but forming. I stood, leaving everything behind except one thing, the first letter, the one where she thanked us, the one where she promised not to let us down. I held it up to the window. Her teenage handwriting, those promises. She made her choice, I whispered. Silence answered. Sunday crawled by. 3 calls to Stella, 3 voicemails, no reply. Monday morning I was back at Minnie's bedside by 9. Machines beeped in quiet rhythm. She slept most of the time, waking only in fragments to ask questions I couldn't answer. At 2:15 Dr. Patel entered, glanced at the monitor's scribbled notes. His expression told me before his words did. He motioned me into the hallway. The latest labs aren't good, he said softly. Her liver function's falling fast. I leaned against the wall, needing its support. What does that mean? For time? 2 weeks, maybe 3. A pause. I'm very sorry. The hallway seemed to tilt. I steadied myself. I need to call my daughter. Yes, he said quietly. His hand brushed my shoulder. Don't wait. He walked away. White coat fading around the corner. My phone showed 15% battery. Critical. Down the corridor near the nurse's station. A payphone. Old, dusty, forgotten. I walked toward it. 30 feet felt like miles. Fumbled in my pocket. 3/4. Enough for 1 call. The receiver was heavy, cold. The cord tangled. I had to twist it free. Coins clinked into the slot. The mechanical sound echoed down the hall. I dialed her number, knew it by heart. 5 rings. Dad, she answered, irritation immediate. Background noise, voices, papers shuffling. I'm literally in a meeting. Can this wait? My voice trembled. No, it can't. Dr. Patel just told me your mother has 2 weeks. Maybe 3. Silence. Then flatly, okay. Dad, I hear you. Stella, did you hear me? Weeks. Dad, I hear you. But what do you expect me to do? Quit my job? Cancel everything? I want you to come see her today, tonight, please. I have Hawaii on Wednesday. Her tone changed, defensive, measured. 2 weeks, I said. I've been planning this for months. I blinked, not understanding. What, Hawaii? Yes. Vacation? Maui? For 2 weeks? I told you about this. You never... Stella, I said, my voice cracking, your mother is dying. Her voice turned cold, sharp, deliberate. Dad, listen. The old woman doesn't have much time left. That's just reality. But I'm not going to waste my life sitting in that miserable hospital. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. She continued, steady as a knife. I haven't had a vacation in 2 years. 2 years. I need this for my mental health. Finally, I found my voice. A whisper, old woman. You called your mother an old woman. I've been in therapy for 3 years, she said, her voice clipped. Learning to set boundaries. And I'm setting them. I'm not canceling my trip. When do you leave? Wednesday morning. I'll stop by when I'm back if she's still... A pause. Look, I have to go. A client's waiting. We'll talk when I'm home. Bye. Click. The dial tone buzzed in my ear, steady, endless, mechanical. I just stood there, frozen, receiver pressed against my head. 30 seconds passed. Maybe more. My body wouldn't move. Mr. Harvey? Margaret's voice broke through. A gentle hand on my shoulder. I didn't answer. Couldn't. Mr. Harvey, softer this time. Slowly, I lowered the receiver, missed the cradle, tried again. My hands didn't seem to know how to work. Finally, I turned toward her. Whatever she saw in my face made her step back. What happened? Is it Minnie? My words came out flat, hollow. My daughter called her mother the old woman. Margaret blinked, processing. I'm sorry, what? She said the old woman doesn't have much time left and that she's going to Hawaii on Wednesday. Shock rippled across her face, then anger. She's what? For 2 weeks, while her mother's dying? I slid down the wall, slow and heavy, until I hit the cold tile. Sat there, folded in on myself, face buried in my hands. My shoulders shook, silent tears I couldn't stop. Margaret knelt beside me, close but careful, not touching. Other staff walked past, glanced, kept moving. Hospitals see grief every day. I don't know what to say, Margaret whispered. Through my hands, there's nothing to say. You need to stand up. Let's go to the waiting room. Give me a minute. Take all the time you need. 5 minutes later, I rose. She helped me steady myself. I need air. Are you okay to drive? She asked. I didn't answer. Just walked toward the elevator. Inside, alone, I watched the floor numbers blink downward. 4, 3, 2, 1 ground. My reflection in the metal doors looked unfamiliar, like a stranger's face. The lobby doors slid open and March air hit me, cold slicing. I barely felt it. Outside, people moved in every direction. Visitors, nurses, delivery men. Life continuing like water around a stone. Half-full parking lot. Grey sky threatening rain. Wind scraping newspapers across the asphalt. I checked my watch. 2:43. 23 minutes since Dr. Patel told me. Everything changed in 23 minutes. Something inside me hardened. Not grief. Not anymore. Something colder. I looked up toward the 4th floor window. Minnie was up there, dying. And Stella. Stella was packing swimsuits and sunscreen. This couldn't stand. I walked to my car, sat behind the wheel, didn't start it. Just stared at my phone. 9% battery, Wednesday. She'd be gone by Wednesday. 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks. Hours passed in the dark kitchen. I got home around 6:30 and never turned the lights on. Didn't eat. Didn't move. Just replayed her words, the old woman. At 9 p.m., I finally opened my laptop. The glow filled the kitchen in pale blue. Mail piled on the table. Empty mug from the morning. The refrigerators hummed the only sound. I sat motionless, staring. Our kitchen. Minnie's world. 40 years of dinners, cakes, Sunday coffee. Then I saw it. The photo of Stella on the fridge. Corporate party. Polished smile. Held up by a strawberry magnet, I stood. The chair scraped the tile. 4 steps to the fridge. I took the picture down. The magnet dropped and clattered to the floor. I left it there. Opened the drawer by the stove. Batteries, rubber bands, paper clips. Placed the photo face down inside. Shut the drawer. Back to the table. Opened the laptop again. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. Stella had made her choice. Hawaii over her dying mother. If money was the language she spoke, then I would speak it. My fingers moved across the keyboard 2 at a time. Slow, deliberate. How to change a will in Illinois. Legal aid, clear instructions. Can you disinherit an adult child? Yes, explicitly, with intent. 2 witnesses, not family, straightforward. Searched, best estate attorney, Chicago. 3rd result, Samuel Green. I froze. Samuel Green, I knew him. 25 years. Our wives used to lunch together. He wrote our first will in 2000. I could call him tomorrow. I grabbed an envelope and started scribbling notes. Pen scratching against paper. Green, tomorrow, 9 a.m. 2 witnesses. Not family. $620,000. That number glared up at me. Over $500,000. Opened Minnie's spreadsheet, the one she'd kept for years, neat, color-coded, exact, joint. Savings, $340,000. House, $280,000. Life insurance, $15,000 total. $620,000. Stella was counting on it. Probably already built her future around it. Luxury apartment. Designer clothes. Vacations funded by inheritance. Money she didn't earn. Money she didn't deserve. I wrote on the envelope, Educational Fund Minnie Harvey Memorial. Sat back, looked at the words. Minnie had been a teacher for 40 years, changed lives, nurtured kids who appreciated what they had, a scholarship fund in her name for children who value education, who deserve it. Children unlike Stella, perfect. I stood. The floor creaked, opened the cabinet above the fridge. The hinge squealed. A bottle of Jim Beam sat there, 2/3 full, untouched since last Christmas. I took it down, found a short glass, poured 2 fingers, carried it to the table, set it down. Didn't drink at first, just stared at it, at the laptop, at the notes. This was it, the turning point, the decision. Minnie would never have agreed. She'd say, family heals, love forgives. Give her another chance. I lifted the glass, drank it in one swallow. The burn spread through my chest, but underneath it came something stronger. Resolve, clarity. Set the glass down. On the envelope, I wrote a list. Tuesday, to do, call Samuel Green, 8 a.m., request emergency appointment. Bring financial records. Execute new will same day. Return to hospital. I went upstairs, gathered documents. Bank statements, deeds, the current will dated 2020. Spread them across the table. Everything to Stella. Standard, expected. I took a photo of it with my phone. Proof of what was before I changed what will be. Labeled a folder green. Checked the clock. 11:15 p.m., 2 hours had passed. I wasn't tired. I was awake in a way I hadn't been in months. 36 hours until her flight. Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. I had 36 hours to act. I closed the laptop. The kitchen went dark again. Streetlight flickered through the blinds. The refrigerator hummed. Gathered the papers. Left the whiskey glass where it sat. Minnie would have cleaned it immediately. I didn't. I climbed the stairs, each step deliberate, spine straight. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., I'd call Green. Tomorrow, everything would change. Wednesday, March 19th, 6 a.m. While I brewed coffee, her post appeared. Airport selfie. Gate sign behind her. Beaming smile. Caption, off to paradise. Hawaii vacation mode. Living my best life. I screenshotted it. Saved it in a folder labeled evidence. Drank my coffee cold. Collected my files. Drove to the hospital. 2:00 p.m. Chicago. 9:00 p.m. Hawaii, a new post. Lay around her neck. Palm trees swaying. Caption, aloha, made it. I sat beside Minnie's hospital bed when my phone buzzed. Borrowed a co-worker's phone to open Instagram. Because Stella had blocked me months ago. I realized then that Minnie was asleep. I held her hand and watched her chest rise and fall. 18 breaths a minute, rough and uneven. Margaret passed by the doorway, caught sight of my face and didn't say a word. She understood. Thursday, March 20th, 10 a.m. Hawaii, 9 p.m. Chicago. A photo from Waikiki Beach. Bikini, cocktail, tiny umbrella. Caption, living my best life. I printed it that evening, added it to the growing folder. Friday, March 21st, 3 p.m. Chicago. My phone rang while I was reading Pride and Prejudice to Minnie, her favorite. Aunt Doris, her voice sharp, trembling with anger. Dewey, Janet showed me that internet thing, Instagram. Stella's on a beach drinking cocktails. I opened my mouth. No words came. Don't you dare defend her. I can see it myself. Doris, she had this trip planned. She did. Planned? You told her Minnie was dying. I did. And she went anyway? What kind of daughter? She couldn't finish. Too furious. I know. You know. Then why are you protecting her? Everyone's talking. She hung up. I stood in the hallway, phone lifeless in my hand. The first confrontation, the first sting of shame. Margaret watched from the nurse's station. Her expression said everything. Saturday, March 22nd, 11 a.m. Hawaii, 4 p.m. Chicago. Snorkeling photos. Colorful fish. A sea turtle. Caption. Sometimes you need to disconnect and just be. At 4 Mahu, cousin Janet called. Softer than Doris, but firm. Uncle Dewey, people are asking questions. Why isn't Stella there? It's complicated. It's not complicated. It's wrong. Everyone can see that. I know, Janet, I know. Aunt Minnie deserves better. Click Sunday, Monday, March 23rd, 24th. The days blurred together. I texted Stella twice. Mom, very bad. Not eating. Doctor says organs failing. 3 hours later. Okay, not how bad. Not should I come home, just okay. Next day, please call hospital. Nurse Margaret can update you. 4 hours later. Okay. I screenshotted both exchanges and added them to the evidence folder. Minnie's condition log Sunday, 3 spoons of broth. Pulse 92. Breathing strained. Monday refused food. Slept 18 hours. Oxygen increased. Tuesday, March 25th, noon, Chicago. Mrs. Olson stopped me at the mailbox. I saw your Stella's photos. She's on vacation. Her tone wasn't judgmental, pity, which felt worse. I nodded. Oh, Dewey. She touched my arm and walked off. Pity burned deeper than scorn. 5 p.m. Chicago, noon Hawaii. Sunset cruise. Pink sky, wine glass. Caption, grateful for this moment. Life's too short not to enjoy. Life is too short. I read those words beside Minnie. Her life literally too short. The irony tasted like metal. Wednesday, Friday, March 26th, 28th. The posts kept coming. 27 total in 2 weeks. Samples best Mai Tai ever. Pearl Harbor Memorial, so moving. Dinner at Duke's, fresh ahi. Sunrise yoga on the beach and blessed. Helicopter tour, breathtaking views. Sometimes you just need to prioritize yourself. Self-care. My days became mechanical. Morning, check Instagram through a borrowed account. Drive to the hospital, 35 minutes. Sit with Minnie, 10 to 12 hours. Read when she was awake. Hold her hand when she wasn't. Lie when she asked about Stella. Evening, home, print new posts, add to the folder. 27 posts, 0 calls. Saturday, Monday, March 29th to 31st. Minnie's body was failing. Saturday, blood pressure dropping, skin yellowing. Sunday, barely conscious, whispered, Stella. I lied. Soon, honey, soon. Monday, Dr. Patel adjusted pain meds, pulled me aside. Days now. Maybe a week. The shame piled up like snow. Aunt Doris called again, shouting about family duty. Janet texted, family asking me to ask you, where is she? Mrs. Patterson from church came to visit. How's Stella? Work, I mumbled. Everyone knew. Everyone had seen Instagram. Nobody believed my excuses. My evidence folder thickened. 27 printed posts, 2 text replies, notes on family calls, times, dates, a daily log of Minnie's decline. Everything labeled, ordered, tabbed. Tuesday, April 1st, 2 p.m., Hawaii, 7 p.m., Chicago. Stella's final post from paradise. Last day in paradise. Back to reality tomorrow. What a perfect 2 weeks. Blessed, recharged, thankful for this life. Perfect 2 weeks. I sat at the kitchen table, opened the folder. 27 posts, 0 calls, 2 text messages. Both said okay. She'd land Wednesday, 7:45 p.m. Chicago time. Drive home from O'Hare, arrive by 9. Walk into her room. Find what I'd prepared. I closed the folder. Climbed the stairs. Checked her old bedroom. Everything in place. Came back down. Poured coffee. Sat at the kitchen table. Tomorrow she'd understand consequences. 27 posts, 0 calls. Perfect evidence. I smiled for the first time in 2 weeks. Cold, empty, absolute. Everything was ready. 1 week earlier, Tuesday, March 25th. The elevator climbed to the 87th floor. I'd called Samuel the day after Stella left for Hawaii. Emergency, I'd said. Need to change my will. The doors opened. Green & Associates. Plush carpet, framed accolades, sunlight on polished glass. Linda at reception smiled. Mr. Harvey, Mr. Green is expecting you. I followed her down the corridor to the corner office. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed Lake Michigan. Steel blue under morning light. Samuel rose when I entered. Firm handshake, warmth, concern. Dewey, it's been what, 2 years? He gestured toward the leather chair opposite his desk. You said it was urgent. Is it Minnie? I sat, placed the brown folder in front of him. She has days now. Maybe less. That's part of why I'm here. He sighed. I'm sorry. What can I do? I need to change my will, completely. He opened a file drawer, retrieved the old will. The one from 2020. Everything to Stella. Standard arrangement. Unless I want her to have nothing. His pen stopped. He looked up. Dewey, you understand that's permanent. I understand perfectly. She's your only child. This isn't reversible. Why? I opened the folder and slid the first printout across the desk. Look at this. An airport selfie. Timestamp March 19th, 6:17 a.m. Caption, off to paradise. Samuel frowned. Your wife was dying. My daughter went to Hawaii. Maybe she didn't know. She knew, I told her. Begged her to visit. She called her mother the old woman. Said she didn't have much time left, so why waste her vacation? Silence, his face tightened. I pushed more photos across. Beaches, drinks, smiles, sunsets. Then the text screenshots. 2 messages from me. Mom, very bad. Organs failing. Both replies, okay, okay. Samuel stared at the papers for a long moment, then removed his glasses. 27 posts. Not one call to the hospital. Not one. Minnie asks for her every day. I lie, say she's working. He sighed, set the pages down carefully. I watched Stella grow up. I was at her graduation. So was I said quietly. I don't know this person anymore. He nodded. What do you want to do? An educational fund. Minnie's name. For kids who deserve it. Samuel pulled his keyboard closer. Illinois law allows full disinheritance if explicitly stated. Intentional clause makes it bulletproof. 2 non-family witnesses required. We can execute today. How long? An hour to draft, then signatures. He typed. The room filled with the steady rhythm of keys. Occasional questions broke the silence. Total estate value? $620,000. Structure? Scholarship fund. Chicago public school students. Low-income families. Kids who want to teach. He paused. Like Minnie. Exactly. 30 minutes later, he pressed print. The pages emerged warm from the machine. He read aloud. I, Dewey Harvey, being of sound mind and body, intentionally make no provision for my daughter, Stella Harvey. My entire estate will be used to create the Minnie Harvey Educational Fund. This exclusion is deliberate, intentional, not an oversight. He looked up. This is airtight. Once signed, it's final. Good. Samuel pressed the intercom. Linda, Ben, come in, please. We need witnesses for a will execution. They entered within a minute. Professional, composed. They sensed the gravity without needing words. Samuel handed me a pen. Black ink, heavy. Once you sign, it's binding. You're absolutely certain? I held the pen above the signature line. Never been more certain. I signed. Firm strokes. No hesitation. Linda followed, signing below my name. Ben signed next. Samuel notarized, pressing his official seal hard enough to crunch the paper. Done, he said, looking straight at me. Stella will receive nothing after your and Minnie's passing. I leaned back, something easing in my chest. Not relief, completion. One more thing. I leaned forward. I want Stella to understand why. An executor's note, standard reasoning plus a personal letter, to be delivered when the will is read. I can arrange that. I dictated the contents. Samuel took notes. Your mother passed while you were on vacation. You called her the old woman. 27 posts, 0 calls to her bedside. This isn't revenge. It's consequence. You didn't earn this inheritance through your choices. I'll draft and seal it, he said. He placed the documents into a manila envelope, sealed it and handed it over. I took it, heavy, conclusive, stood, shook his hand. Dewey. He held the handshake. I support this for what it's worth. It's worth everything. I walked to the elevator, folder under my arm, sealed copy tucked in my jacket, felt its weight against my chest, pressed the down button. Didn't look back. The door shut, 87 floors to the ground. With every floor, I felt lighter. The burden was on paper now. The envelope sat in my desk drawer for 6 days. Every morning I'd open the drawer, see it there, then close it again. Monday, March 31st, Stella's latest Instagram post appeared. Last day in paradise. My phone buzzed. Text from her dad, landing tomorrow 7:45 p.m., coming straight home. Exhausted, I studied the message. Factual, no apology. No how's mom? Just schedule. I typed back, okay, I'll be home. Considered adding more. Deleted it. Sent only that. Opened my colleague's phone. Looked at Stella's final post again. Sunset photo, wine glass, caption perfect 2 weeks. Comments below, so jealous. You deserve it. Come back refreshed. She had no idea. No clue what waited in her room. I'd make sure of that evening, 6 o'clock. Time for the hospital. Drove the same route, 35 minutes parked. 4th floor, room 412. Minnie was asleep when I entered. Oxygen mask this time instead of the cannula. Breathing shallow. Heart monitor slow. Her skin had yellowed. Liver failure. Dr. Patel had warned me. I sat by her side, held her hand. Thin, cold even under the blankets. 10 minutes passed. Her eyes fluttered open. She saw me, tried to smile, couldn't through the mask. I lifted it gently. Her voice barely audible. Dewey! I'm here, sweetheart. Always here. Stella? The same question every day. She's coming home tomorrow. Relief softened her face. Good. Minnie, I need to tell you something. My thumb traced circles on her hand. I changed the will. Stella won't inherit. It's going into an education fund. In your name, for kids who need it. Her brow furrowed. Weak confusion. What? Stella chose Hawaii over you. I can't forgive that. Maybe you could. I can't. A tear slipped from her temple. My baby. I kissed her hand. I'm sorry. She has to face consequences. Minnie, too weak to argue, closed her eyes. Tears still fresh. I love you, I whispered. This is for you. To honor you. She didn't answer. Drifted back to sleep. I replaced the mask. Sat another hour watching her breathe. Tuesday 10 a.m. home alone. I went to the study, opened the drawer, pulled out the manila envelope Samuel had given me. Its weight felt heavier than before. Opened it. Inside and the will 3 pages stapled. The letter on 1 page. I read it one last time. Stella, if you're reading this, your mother has passed away. You weren't there. You were on vacation when she needed you most. You called her the old woman and said her remaining time wasn't worth interrupting yours. I've changed our will. You inherit nothing. The entire estate, $620,000, will establish the Minnie Harvey Educational Fund for aspiring teachers. This isn't revenge. It's consequence. You didn't earn this through your actions. Your father, Dewey Harvey. I found a new manila envelope. Larger, wrote on the front in bold black marker. Open immediately. Placed the will and letter inside. Sealed it, held it. Final moment. Point of no return. This was it. 3 o'clock. Afternoon light angled through the windows. I climbed the stairs to Stella's room. Door closed. Hadn't entered for months. Pushed it open. Time stood still. Twin bed with purple comforter she'd picked at 16. Desk cluttered with old textbooks. Posters on the wall. Bands, movies, photos of friends, vacations, trophies, debate team medals, volleyball, awards. Everything she was. Dust covered the surfaces. I never cleaned here. Couldn't bring myself to. This was the room of a loving daughter. That person no longer existed. I placed the envelope squarely on her pillow. White against purple. Perfectly centered. Smoothed it flat. Stepped back. Done. Left the door half open, light spilling in. Went downstairs, evening, 6 o'clock. Made coffee. Didn't drink it. Sat in the same armchair where that first phone call came 3 weeks ago. Felt like 3 years. Checked the clock. 6:15, Stella lands 7:45. Home by 8:30, maybe 9, TV on. Didn't watch. Clock 7. She was in the air somewhere over the Pacific. Headed home. 65, phone buzzed, landed getting Uber. I typed back, okay, 8:15 waiting, quiet house. Only TV murmur, clock ticking, rain starting outside. Drops against the windows. My breathing even. Not nervous, ready. I'd been ready 2 weeks. Headlights swept across the living room. Car door slammed. Key in the lock. I didn't move. Metal turned. Door opened. Hinges creaked. Stella entered, dragging her suitcase. Wheels bumped over the rug. Backpack dropped with a thud. She kicked the door shut, wrestled the suitcase loose, muttered under her breath, then looked toward me, saw me sitting there, barely a glance. Hi, Dad. Not meeting my eyes. Where's Mom? I didn't stand. Hospital. Same place she's been. Dad, don't start. Sharp, tired. I'm exhausted. 9-hour flight. I'm sure. She caught my tone, instantly defensive. Look, I'll go tomorrow, okay? I need sleep. I said nothing, just watched. She shifted, uneasy. Whatever. I'm going to bed. No hug, no question. Just dismissal. She left her suitcase by the door, took her backpack, started up the stairs. 14 steps. I heard each one. Hand on the banister. Turned right. Door half open. Light from the hall. She pushed it open fully. I watched from below. Silence, 5 seconds. Then her backpack hit the floor. Light switch flicked, brightness flooding the room. More silence. Footsteps, 3 steps to the bed. Paper rustling. Envelope tearing. Pages turning. Quiet again. 10 seconds, 20, then what the... Louder. You will inherit nothing. This is a joke. Reading aloud now. Voice climbing. Educational fund. 620,000. Her voice cracked, rising into a shout. What is this? Panic. This can't be real. It can't be. Thud. A body hitting the floor. The sound reached me downstairs. First her scream, then the heavy crash. I set my coffee cup down, stood, moved to the stairs, climbing 1 slow step at a time. 14 steps. Reached the landing. Turned right, her doorway open. Stella lay on her side, motionless, papers scattered across the floor, one hand still gripping the letter. Eyes closed. Not moving, but breathing. Shallow. Present. I stepped inside, knelt beside her, one knee down, pressed 2 fingers to her neck. Pulse steady, just fainted. Stella. I patted her cheek. No response. Went to the bathroom, filled a glass with cold water, came back, sprinkled it over her face. She stirred. Eyelids fluttered, groaned. Eyes opened, unfocused, confusion clouding them. Where am I? Then memory hit. Eyes went wide. She tried to sit up too fast, dizzy. I steadied her with a hand on her shoulder. Controlled, not tender. What happened? Her voice was thin. You fainted. 20 seconds, maybe. Her gaze darted to the floor, papers everywhere. The will, the letter. She grabbed my arm, panic flaring. Dad, that letter, that will. Tell me it's not real. I met her eyes. It's real. You can't do this. I already did. March 25th, legal binding. Her voice cracked. No, this is fake. You're just trying to scare me. It's not fake. Dad, I'm sorry, okay? Bargaining tone. I'll visit Mom tomorrow. I promise. Tomorrow's too late. You can't just cut me out. I'm your daughter. Are you? The question froze her. Mouth open. Nothing came out. She stayed sitting on the floor. I helped her lean back against the bed. She trembled. Picked up the will. Read the lines again. 620,000. Educational fund. Intentional disinheritance. She looked at me. Disbelief etched in every word. You're serious? Completely. She clutched the papers, knuckles white, eyes filling. Tears or fury, I couldn't tell. I stood. She sat amid the ruins of her future. Silence stretched between us like a canyon. She rose unsteadily, holding the will, voice rising. This isn't legal. I crossed my arms, unmoved. It's entirely legal. You can't just erase me. I can, I did. I'll contest it. Any lawyer will. Samuel Green drafted it. Best estate attorney in Chicago, airtight. She shifted tactics. You're doing this to punish me. I'm doing this because you earned it. I've been busy. You don't understand my life. I understand perfectly. I'm your daughter. Desperation now. That has to mean something. You were my daughter. Past tense. The words struck her like a physical blow. How can you say that? How could you call your mother the old woman? She froze. I didn't mean it like that. You're twisting my words. March 17th. 2:23 p.m. You said, the old woman doesn't have much time left. I'm not wasting mine sitting in a hospital. Quote, I was stressed, okay? Work pressure. You don't know what it's like. You were at a business meeting, then boarded a flight to Hawaii for 2 weeks. I needed that vacation. My therapist said, I cut her off with a hand. Stop. She pivoted again, attack mode. You weren't perfect either. You worked all the time when I was a kid. I worked overtime to pay your $200,000 Northwestern tuition. You chose that. I chose to give you chances. My tone hardened. You chose cocktails over your dying mother. Direct hit. She recoiled like she'd been struck. Paced the room. Pulled at her hair. Grabbed the papers. Threw them. Then the shift, sudden. Dropped to her knees, grasped my pant leg. Theatrics or despair, unclear. Daddy, please. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I looked down, unmoved. She tried to kiss my hand. I pulled away. I'll change. I'll visit Mom every day. Too late. I'll go right now. And say what? Whatever you want. I'll apologize. Tears now. Real ones, maybe. I'll make it right. Just reverse the will. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you lost money. That's not true. Every word proves I made the right choice. I'll take care of you both. I swear, if you'd loved us, you'd have been there. You weren't, she crumpled, not fainting this time, defeated. Sat on the floor amid the scattered pages. What do I do? Her voice small. Tell me what to do. Nothing. It's done. I turned toward the door. Where are you going? She stumbled up, followed me down the stairs, pleading. 14 steps. She nearly tripped. In the living room, I sat in my chair. She stood in the doorway, hair disheveled, papers crushed in her hand. Rain hammered the windows. The clock read 9:10. I opened the side table drawer, took out the manila folder. She saw it, not yet understanding. I set it on the coffee table, opened it, and began laying out printouts one by one. Her brows knit. Then recognition hit. Her own posts. Color drained from her face. March 19th, 6 m, O'Hare Airport. I tapped the first. Off to paradise, silence. That morning your mother couldn't swallow water. Next printout. March 20th. Waikiki Beach, you cocktail in hand. Caption, living my best life. That day they inserted a catheter. She couldn't walk anymore. Next, snorkeling photo, sea turtle, March 22nd. Caption, underwater world is magical. That day she said, Dewey, I want to see Stella one last time. I continued as methodical, merciless. Beach sunsets, restaurant meals. Helicopter tours, yoga poses, smiles with strangers. Each perfect photo paired with her mother's decline. March 25th, parasailing. She stopped eating solid food. March 28th, luau. She couldn't stay awake longer than 4 hours. April 1st. Your last post. Perfect 2 weeks. Her liver was failing. She picked up a printout, hands trembling. Dad, stop. I didn't. She sat at the couch edge, face hidden behind her hands, peeking through her fingers at the evidence spread across the table. I unlocked my phone, scrolled. March 23rd, I said. I texted you, want Mom very bad. Organs failing. Doctor says days. Scrolled again. Your reply, okay. March 26th. I texted, please call hospital. Nurse Margaret can update you. Your reply, okay. I placed the phone down. 27 posts. 38 comments on other people's photos. 0 calls to the hospital. 0 questions about medication, pain, prognosis, 0. I thought I had time. You had time for helicopter rides. I was going to visit when I got back. When she was already gone? Silence. I walked to the window, looked out into the rain-slick street. 10 seconds. Without turning, I said, your mother died today. Pause, let it hit. 6:30 this evening. What? Confusion. What did you say? I turned to her. Minnie died while you were on the plane from Hawaii. No, shaking her head. You're lying. You're just punishing me more. She's gone. She can't be. I just talked to you yesterday. The hospital called at 6:15. I was there by 6:25. Details made it real. Had to. She was conscious for 5 minutes. On morphine, but aware. Nurse Margaret was with her, the one you never called. Aunt Doris made it in time. Mrs. Olson came to say goodbye. I paused. Everyone who mattered was there. Beat, except you. Her voice broke. What did she say? The last thing she said? Silence held. Then where's Stella? 10 seconds, 20. Those were her final words. A question, not a statement. I told her, she's coming, honey. She's on her way. Minnie closed her eyes, waited. You didn't come. She stopped breathing at 6:31. Stella slid from the couch to the floor. Not manipulation this time, real. A raw, broken sound tore from her throat. No, 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 no. She rocked back and forth on the floor. I didn't know. I didn't know. You didn't ask, I said quietly. She folded in on herself amid the debris of her own vacation. 27 printed posts scattered like proof of guilt. Her mother's final word was her name, a question she would never answer. I stood above her, silent. She'd lost more than an inheritance tonight. Savate mote Wednesday morning. I went downstairs. Stella was on the couch where I'd left her, still in yesterday's clothes, eyes swollen, sleepless. I passed her without a word into the kitchen, brewed coffee. 1 cup. She appeared in the doorway, tried to speak. I raised a hand. Stop! She closed her mouth. Funeral is Saturday, April 5th. 11 a.m. Morrison Funeral Home, Maple Street. Pause. You can come or not. Your choice. Another pause. After the funeral, you have 2 days to clear your things from this house. Sunday and Monday. Locks change Tuesday. Dad, can we talk about... No, everything's been said. About Mom. About us? There is no us anymore, Stella. I met her eyes. Just a father notifying a daughter about a funeral. That's all. Don't say that. April 5th. 11 a.m., that's all you need to know. I walked past her upstairs, leaving her standing alone in the kitchen. Saturday, April 5th. Morrison Funeral Home, 11 a.m., 60 people came. Tulips everywhere, Minnie's favorite. Closed casket, simple oak, photos on easels. Minnie as a young teacher. Minnie on our wedding day, Minnie holding baby Stella. Stella arrived alone. Black dress. Sat in the back, not the family row. People noticed, whispered. Aunt Doris passed her without a word. Cousin Janet gave her a pitying glance but kept walking. I stood at the podium, steady. Minnie Harvey was the best person I ever knew. 42 years of marriage, and every day I thanked fate for her. She taught love, patience, forgiveness. She believed in people even when they didn't deserve it. Heads turned toward Stella. Minnie made the world better than she found it. And now her name will live on through the educational fund we built, for the children she always cared about. She said children are our future. Now her legacy shapes that future. I sat down. No mention of Stella. Afterward, people hugged me, offered condolences. Stella stood off to the side, invisible. She stepped forward, hesitant. I accepted her hug, brief, mechanical, without warmth. Said nothing, turned to others. She drifted alone through the crowd, unacknowledged. At the cemetery, she lingered behind during the graveside service. Didn't approach the grave until everyone had gone. I watched from the car, then drove away. Sunday afternoon, April 6th. Stella in her old room, packing. I stood in the doorway, arms folded. Said nothing, did nothing. You have until Monday, 6 p.m. Monday, 5:30. She carried her last 2 suitcases downstairs. Stopped at the door. Dad, I know you're angry, but I'm still your daughter. That has to mean something. You were my daughter, I said evenly. Past tense. People make mistakes. Mistake is forgetting a birthday. Missing a meeting. I didn't raise my voice. What you did wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. I chose wrong. I know that now. You chose cocktails over your dying mother. Live with that. Last defense, I'll contest the will. I gave her a cold smile. Try it. Samuel Green drafted it. I have evidence. Your posts, texts, witnesses, nurses, family. Court will see exactly who you are. But if you want public humiliation, go ahead. Deflated, she whispered, I regret everything. I regret what you became. Goodbye, Stella. She paused at the door, waiting for something, a word, a look, but there was nothing left. She left. I closed the door, locked it, heard her car start and fade down the street. Friday, April 11th, 1 week later. Mail in hand, garden quiet. Envelope from Green and Associates, opened it. Dear Dewey, pleased to inform you the Minnie Harvey Educational Fund is now officially registered with the state of Illinois. Tax-exempt status approved. Fund total, $620,000. First scholarships awarded September 2025. Each $5,000 renewable annually. First recipient pending. Maria Gonzalez, 15, daughter of a cleaning service worker. Dreams of becoming an English teacher. 4.0 GPA, volunteer tutor. Exactly the kind of student Minnie would have chosen. Your wife's legacy begins. Samuel. I sat on the garden bench where Minnie and I had coffee every morning for 40 years. Spring warmth, birds. I took her photo from my wallet. 40 years old, before Stella, before cancer, before loss. I did it, honey, I said softly. You wanted forgiveness, but I'm not you. I couldn't forgive someone who treated you that way. Now your name helps children who truly value what they're given. Stella lost money. They gain futures. That's justice. The photo showed Minnie at 25. Bright eyes, simple smile. I smiled back. The sun warmed my face. First warmth I'd felt in weeks. 15 kids would start new lives under Minnie's name. That was enough. Justice wasn't revenge. It was consequence. And consequence had come. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments. To listen to the next story, click the box on the left. Thank you for watching.